Hello, welcome back to Lifestyle with Nafula. I'm Nafula Lubia, and today we are on episode 3 of our series, Why Knowing Where to Start Matters, multiple doors of access to justice in Kenya. And today we are talking about alternative justice systems, otherwise known as AJS, constitutional recognition and the practice. So alternative justice systems, often referred to as AJS, form part of the Kenya's constitutional landscape. AJS is recognized under Article 159 of the Constitution of Kenya. These systems reflect the long-standing reality that communities have resolved disputes through structured processes outside the formal courts, and the Constitution acknowledges this reality while placing clear boundaries around how such systems operate. So we've at one point or another gone to the chief to have a dispute resolved, have had a dispute resolved at the police station or in the church, or elders have come to the house and assisted to resolve a dispute. All these are known forms of AJS. So this AJS includes mechanisms such as Council of Elders, community forums, customary arbitration, and faith-based dispute resolution processes. These systems vary widely in form and practice, but they share a focus on restoring harmony, addressing communal concerns, and resolving disputes in a way that is culturally intelligible to the parties that are involved. So the constitutional recognition of AJS comes with important conditions. Number one, AJS processes must respect human dignity, they must uphold equality, they must remain consistent with the constitutional values and our fundamental rights. The outcome must be voluntary, fair, and free from discrimination. Where these standards are not met, then the courts retain the authority to intervene. So AJS tends to be most effective in matters where the relationships and community cohesion are central to consideration. Again, where neighbors are fighting, families are fighting, where there's conflict between two communities, say the cattle rustling, the communities where there's a lot of cattle rustling, where there's a dispute between the community and a developer, AJS works very effectively. So, like I've said, this includes family disputes, inheritance issues, land and boundary disagreements, and conflict within close-knit communities. In such contexts, resolution may be measured not only by legal correctness, but also restoration and social stability. So some challenges do arise in practice, some power imbalances, for example, where one person is a victim of domestic violence, there will be some power imbalance, where one of the litigants is a child, a minor, there may be some power imbalance. The fact that there are no formal records, although now courts are encouraging AJS panels to maintain formal records. There's, for example, an AJS annexed to Nakuru Law Courts, an AJS complex annexed to Nakuru Law Courts. It's one of the best examples of AJS with formal records in the country at the moment. Then there are inconsistent safeguards which may undermine fairness if not carefully managed. And here there are courts that have accepted AJS for cases such as murder cases, and there are those that have not accepted AJS for cases such as murder cases. So it has not been uniformly applied in all aspects. and therefore this lack of consistency may be a challenge. But this is a subject of jurisprudential development and academia, as it is only now in the recent, I think, 5 years or so, that the courts have begun to recognize AJS. The courts in Kenya have begun to recognize AJS, and I believe that these issues are going to be resolved with time. Then the risks explain why the courts continue to play a supervisory role when AJS outcomes are presented for recognition and enforcement. So there's also the aspect that for the same crime in AJS, the outcome will not be uniform. So for one person who has stolen chicken, they may be told to restore that chicken. For another person, they may just be forgiven. For another person, they may compensate the victim with something else. And that does not create a level playing ground. Another issue, there's a controversial issue that is going on right now where a certain politician is said to have shot someone, and they talked and they resolved the matter out of court through AJS. And this has sparked a lot of controversy because from what I see on media and everything, some people say some people have power, they have money, and therefore they can buy justice. So there's that perception that may be created. And but the other side of it is that if parties have talked and they have agreed and consented and withdrawn even a matter as serious as the one that is in the public domain, and you try to compel them to come to court to proceed with the matter, it is most likely that the complainant, who's the victim, will refuse to cooperate. It is most likely that the witnesses will refuse to cooperate. Why? Because according to them, the matter has already been resolved. So the outcome of that process is likely to be the same as where a prosecutor comes to court and tells the court, I would like to have the matter withdrawn because the parties have talked and they have agreed. So there are all these controversies and all these issues surrounding it, surrounding such aspects. We've seen places like in Wajir, where elders are still very respected, and a lot of disputes are resolved through elder panels. A lot of murder cases that happen in that part of the country are resolved in such manner. And what happens is that the witnesses fail to come to court. Of course, there's no complainant. The witnesses fail to come to court. Even if you force them to come to court, they may refuse to talk, they may refuse to say exactly what they saw, how it happened, and everything. And when that happens, the end result is the same, that you'll be forced to acquit for lack of, to acquit a person for lack of evidence. Yeah, so understanding this and understanding AJS, how it works and how it functions, helps explain why the courts may encourage parties sometimes to explore community-based processes in appropriate cases. It also highlights the continued responsibility of courts to ensure that all justice pathways operate within constitutional boundaries.